The report, titled Inequality Inc., found that since 2020, the richest 5 men in the world had doubled their fortunes. During the same period, almost 5 billion people globally had become poorer. Based on the data from the UBS Global Wealth Report 2023, Oxfam calculated that the 7 richest Africans, who collectively own $52 billion had more wealth than the poorest half of the continent's population, who collectively owned $49.6 billion in 2022. South Africa was deemed the most unequal country in the world. The combined wealth of the Southern African countries' billionaires had increased by a third since 2020, while the bottom 99% became poorer. The country's 4 richest billionaires had as much wealth as the bottom 60% of the population. In Kenya, the richest 125 people had more than double the wealth as the bottom half, or 27 million people. Experts predict that if the current trends continue, the world will have its first trillionaire within a decade, but poverty will not be eradicated for another 229 years. Oxfam is calling on governments to reduce the gap between the super-rich and the rest of society by reining in corporate power, fighting for higher wages, capping the pay of CEOs, and taxing the super-rich and corporations. A wealth tax on the world's millionaires and billionaires, they believe, could generate $1.8 trillion a year.
So guys, this is our video. Let's get into it. I've been dying to get into this video. So, according to this report, the 4 richest person in the world owns more than half of the population wealth, and they're all Americans by you. And she also said the 7 richest people on the African continent owns more than half the population wealth. But there's a reason for that. But let's get into the 4 richest person in America first. Which is, I think, is Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, and next guy, I can't remember his name because he's not well known. I think it's a guy that owns the Jeffersons brand, the Jeffersons family. I think I'll put the name up on the screen so you can see. So, and they also in the report they said that they double their wealth and people got poorer while the rich got richer. But there's a reason for that because the rich manipulate, lie, steal, and rob from everyone else. So they, I'm talking about on a global scale, they consolidate. Like one person who's in media will buy up all the media companies, own all the media companies, and one person will buy up all the agriculture. And like they split up between them, and then they become billionaires by squeezing the small man out of business, paying less for basically doing slave wages, paying people less and less money, and using more and more machines, laying off more and more people to for the profit line, profit margin. That's what's happening. That's why people get richer. That's the only reason. So let's get to Africa. There she said that and she was pinpointing South Africa and Ghana. But look at this diagram there, where you see that's 20% of Americans, rich people, own 80% of the wealth, while 20% of the next 20% wealth goes to 80% of the population, which divides up between upper class, middle class, poor and desolate, like poor and poorer. Poor, I mean the poor people who can afford to buy just enough food for them to survive, and then you have the poorest after that, which have to beg, homeless, steal and borrow. Anyway, so let's get into this South Africa. This specifically, I want to talk about South Africa. Why is South Africa has the worst disparity when it comes down to the wealth gap? It was not. It is not by accident. It's by design. So let's get into it. During apartheid, all the white people own all businesses, from healthcare and the hospitals to the rest to the food industry, farms, groceries, education, school. Black people was kept out of school while they educate their children. They steal lands. I'm talking about millions of acres of land that was has been stolen from black South Africans. And they unalive them. I don't want to use the word because they might block my video, so they will unalive these people and take their land. I'm talking about millions, and they will run them off the land. They will use the police force with dogs to chase these people off their land and took the land. Hence the reason why you have the rich families in South Africa, white rich families, not black. Mandela came to power in 1994. But Mandela is to South Africa what President Obama is to America. Let me explain. They were both was the first black president of each for each country, and they were so loved and adored for that. People look past, give them a pass to do. Basically, anything mess up, make mistakes, and then recover. That's what these two black presidents we had did. They both have leeway to do anything, and we don't call them on it. So Obama did not do anything for the black race. He do things for the other race, but not for the black. Same thing with Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela did nothing economically for black people, so for black South Africans when he came to power. I remember his first speech when he said, "Well, from this moment forward, we'll go on, move on in peace." No, they humiliate, they tortured, they unalive, they beat black people for decades, and you're gonna come into power and tell, okay, you can keep your wealth, you can keep the stolen land. Just from this moment forward, we're gonna live we're gonna live next to each other. But that's impossible because we're not starting from the same place. They have all the wealth, all the land, while we don't. So black people have been trying to get back their land from the oppressors from since Mandela came into power. And all those killings that took place on hundreds and thousands of black South Africans, not one of them got arrested or was tried because I did a video on this when up to now the ANC government still have not charged anyone for any of the killing that happened during the apartheid regime. So that's another video, and I want to get to that. Let's talk about the wealth. So black people did not have a chance to gain wealth. President Ramaphosa was adopted by a white European, English to be specific, a British family. Then he was raised and molded by the colonizers. So his mind is still colonized, and this is what he does. He will do something minuscule, very small for black people, and then he do the grand stuff for the whites. And what there was a paper came out stating that the white South Africans manipulate the rich families, manipulated the rand because they own the banks to drive down the value of the rand while they make billions off the backs of some black South Africans. President Ramaphosa did nothing for this. And let's go back to Nelson Mandela for 1 minute. When he came out of when he divorced his wife, um Rita. Why am I saying Rita? Rita is Bob Marley's wife. Nelson Mandela, forgot her name. It's not come back to me right now. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. When he moved, he lived in one of those colonizers' rich family house. They gave him a home to live in. So again, he was more soft. I think they break him down and make and make themselves look sympathetic to hit so that they don't get attacked or lose their power. That's what they did to Mandela, in my opinion. So he did not did anything financial. He did not did anything. What's the word I'm looking for? It's missing. The word is slipping me. Economically, for the Black South African, nothing at all. And that's one of the reasons why Julius Malema is fighting so hard to become the president. And he will be the next president of South Africa because he cannot be controlled or manipulated like what they're doing to President Ramaphosa at the moment, Cyril. So so yeah. So that's the reason why um, South Africa have that big disparity. And also in 1884, when they had the Berlin Conference, when they divided up the continent between the Germans, the Americans, the English, the French, and they reaped trillions, listen to me, trillions of dollars they stole from the continent annually, yearly, not over time. Yearly, they have been stealing trillions of dollars. So how is it we are this desolate place, but yet we are the one that financing these European cities and their economies, stacking it up, building up their educational system, their healthcare system. Is the African minerals and resources does that? Our artifacts, our gold, our diamond that they have been stolen, stealing, our resources from Congo. The Congo is one of the richest countries on the planet, but yet they are the poorest. Why? Because of colonization. And not only colonization, I would not say it's only colonization, it also corrupt thieving presidents and puppet presidents, which we do have a lot of them. But all of this changing now because Burkina Faso, Niger, Chad, Guinea, all those countries are things are changing. Uganda, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Algeria. You know, they have countries now they're actually standing up to the West and making sure that the disparity is quelled. It's need to have because especially in Burkina Faso, they're making strides when it comes on to living on the playing field for the citizens. And we need to get rid of the educational system that was put there for us to study because it's not helping us progress. It's making us regress more and more. So anyway, so let me think. Let me know what you think about this little analysis I did, and in the comment section, and I'll reply to any one of your comments. So let me know what you think about it, and we can have a discussion about it. Thanks for watching. I don't know. WSSM podcast. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Boom.